These celebrity cold cases show that there's a dark side to fame.
This is what he does when he's not with me.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 unsolved celebrity deaths.
Lloyd says there's a rumor your dad has been shot.
For this list, we're exploring the untimely deaths of celebrities, the details of which have yet to be fully determined. We're not investigating conspiracy theories per se, as we have another list for that, but rather the facts of these cold cases.
Big Papa ain't going nowhere, you know what I'm saying?
Number 10, Brittany Murphy.
Let's do a makeover. No.
Brittany Murphy rose to fame playing an ugly duckling in 1995's Clueless, which is amazing considering her real-life beauty and poise. Equally astounding are the confusing circumstances surrounding her shocking 2009 death.
The family had reported that she had not been feeling well the last few days and that she had flu-like symptoms and felt sick.
The coroner initially listed natural causes as the official culprit, but later revealed that Murphy had been consuming a variety of over-the-counter drugs and had been treating pneumonia prior to her death. Just 3 months after the coroner's revised statement, her husband, Simon Monjack, passed away under similar circumstances.
The 39-year-old was found unconscious Sunday night in the same Hollywood Hills home where Murphy had gone into cardiac arrest December 20th.
Toxic mold later came into play as a potential factor, a concept first rejected by Murphy's own mother before she ultimately supported the theory.
I absolutely positively think she was poisoned, yes. I'm calling for it to be exhumed.
Number 9, Robert Johnson. For musicians, the blues genre evokes images of heartbreak and perseverance. It was Robert Johnson who originated the Delta blues sound in the late 30s, only to pass away suddenly at just 27 years old. Part of the mystery surrounding Johnson's death can be traced to Son House, who once joked to a journalist that Johnson sold his soul to the devil in order to master his craft. People ultimately believed this tale, inconceivable as it may seem. Even if it were true, it still doesn't explain whether Johnson died from syphilis or from poisoning at a local bar. Then again, maybe he did meet someone at the crossroads.
You can run, tell my friend boy Willie Brown.
Number 8, Jimmy Hoffa.
I have asked anybody who might have information concerning my father's whereabouts to please come forward.
While nobody seems to know exactly how this famous union leader met his demise, most agree that he was likely murdered. But by whom and why? Originally disappearing on July 30th, 1975 in Detroit, Jimmy Hoffa's whereabouts have long been a mystery, especially when so many gangsters have taken credit for his killing. After all, the man did immerse himself in the underworld, and apparently scheduled meetings with top-level mafia figures for the day he vanished. But with no body, it's impossible to fully understand what actually happened on that fateful day. But he's not under Giant Stadium, probably. Number 7, Brian Spinner Spencer.
Brian, when they came up, did they say they wanted you to do some thumping, hard hitting?
Not really, but it always turns out that way. This is my style of hockey.
In life, this Canadian was a passionate professional on the ice. As a crucial bit of context to his story, it's important to know that his father once took over a TV station at gunpoint when his son's televised debut was preempted.
Got a serious disagreement with CBC programming, and there's gonna be a revolution unless something changes.
It didn't end well for Roy Spencer, and after a decade in the NHL, his son Brian spiraled out of control as well, leading to a 1987 murder charge.
On the charge of murder in the first degree, how do you find the defendant?
Not guilty.
Surprisingly, a jury acquitted him of all charges, but Spencer immersed himself in a world of drugs and somehow managed to get himself shot like his father. Payback or a drug deal gone wrong? In the end, poor choices sealed his fate. We just don't know exactly which choices they were. Number 6, Bobby Fuller. The man who discovered Ritchie Valens also signed Texas musician Bobby Fuller to a contract.
I would never believe that he took his own life.
Sadly, also like Valens, Bobby Fuller's career was cut short when he mysteriously died in Hollywood in the summer of '66. Fuller was found in a car with hemorrhages all over his body, yet no signs of physical violence were apparent. A suicide? If so, it's a strange one.
The mob saw his potential success and wanted in on it.
And some have even speculated that Fuller ran with a mobbed-up girlfriend. Barely into his career, Fuller succumbed to the tight grasp of Hollywood fame at only 23 years of age.
You know love's made a fool of you. You know love's made a fool of you.
Number 5. Jack Nance.
Just cut them up like regular chickens?
Sure, just cut them up like regular chickens.
This man appeared in some of cinema's most iconic works by David Lynch, the most unusual of directors. 5 years after his wife committed suicide, Jack Nance went on a drinking bender and apparently picked a fight with an unknown kid at a Pasadena donut emporium.
He could be kind of verbally abusive, so he might have said something, and then that was it.
Nance went to lunch with friends following the fight and allegedly had a crescent-shaped bruise under his eye. It turned out that his injuries caused a subdural hematoma, killing him the following morning. But it's the details surrounding his death that make it so mysterious. Why would a successful actor start a fight with a kid outside a donut store? Your guess is as good as ours, considering the murder investigation led to no arrests, leaving this case unsolved.
An unsolved homicide in some kind of quirky way. I think he would have loved that.
Number 4. Natalie Wood.
You tell him you're a monkey.
But I don't know how to be a monkey.
As a child, as a teenager, and as a grown woman, the beautiful Natalia starred in several of cinema's most beloved films.
Maria, I love you so much.
Don't leave me.
Whatever you want, I'll do.
Hold me.
But as the 80s came along, life slowed down for Natalie Wood. And sadly, her lifelong fear of drowning became a reality.
I've always been terrified, still am, of water, dark water, seawater.
Accompanied by actor Christopher Walken and her husband Robert Wagner, Wood embarked on a Catalina adventure that quickly turned deadly. A turbulent evening on the Pacific Ocean was followed the next morning by the discovery of Wood's lifeless body, a mile from the boat. An autopsy later revealed bruises on Natalie's face and arms. Yet those disturbing facts remain in the background of a bizarre Hollywood narrative that's just as interesting today as it was then.
My dad was incredibly devastated and very tender in telling us what had happened.
Number 3. Bob Crane. By 1978, the career of this Hogan's Hero star had stalled a bit. Even so, Bob Crane still had that certain something that attracted admiring females. That being said, he continued to perform, traveling around the US on a dinner theater tour. However, during an extended stay in Scottsdale, he was found bludgeoned to death and with an electrical cord around his neck. A man named John Henry Carpenter was ultimately tried and acquitted for the murder.
Not guilty of murder in the first degree. Signed, foreperson, Michael E. Lake.
Given that he and Crane allegedly recorded sexual encounters with women, it may be possible that someone connected with those films didn't find the private videos quite so entertaining.
He was like a mad scientist who dealt in photographs of women, or videotapes. And he loved women and he loved cameras. You put them together, there you go.
Number 2. Nancy Spungen.
Sid, he's not interviewing me. Please try and wake up. Do you want me to make you a cup of coffee?
You may not recognize this woman's name, but if you're familiar with punk rock, then you've surely heard of Sid and Nancy.
He was quite possibly a virgin before he met Nancy.
By the time Sid Vicious and the Sex Pistols broke up, they had released only one studio album, albeit an iconic one, and essentially transformed an entire genre. However, by 1978, the bassist was holed up with runaway Nancy Spungen at the famous Chelsea Hotel. And, well, they consumed a lot of drugs. As the story goes, Sid allegedly stabbed his girlfriend in the bathroom after yet another chaotic evening. Perhaps, as some claim, drug dealers were the real culprits.
He said, guess what? Nancy's in a body bag. Sid killed her.
To everyone in the room, when he said that Sid had killed her, that no one believed him.
But Sid took the truth to his grave just 4 months after Nancy's death.
Where would you like to be?
Under the ground.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
But if you mention your toothbrush one more time, I'm gonna spit up.
The night that he was shot was a dream that was not true. I still don't believe it as a real thing.
If you see 8 bears in fear in a fight, you better help the bears.
Number 1. Tupac Shakur.
Grab your blocks when you see Tupac. Call the cops when you see Tupac. Who shot me, but your pumps didn't finish.
By his 25th birthday, Tupac Amaru Shakur had released 4 acclaimed albums, starred alongside Janet Jackson on the big screen, and survived a 1994 shooting. So when the news broke that Tupac had been shot after a 1996 Mike Tyson fight, it seemed like just another Tupac moment. But then, he died. And the conspiracy theories began.
Tupac not dead, he was dead. They'd be arresting those dudes for murder. You know he's somewhere smoking a Cuban cigar.
A gang member did it. Another rapper. He faked his death. Then, 6 months later, the notorious B.I.G. was gunned down in L.A. The stories of Tupac and Biggie are inextricably linked. And even now, the truth remains evasive. Who killed these men? And what's being done to solve their murders? Just listen to Chris Rock's opinion and let us know what you think.
You mean to tell me they can find Saddam Hussein in a hole, but you can't tell me who shot Tupac?
Do you agree with our list? Which unsolved celebrity death has you scratching your head?
It took 3 days for Robert Johnson to die. Far as anybody knows, he was 27.
For more celebrity top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Well, I can kill too, because now I have hate. How many can I kill, Chino? How many?